Greetings, most honored family. I am Saint Germain and I know that we are resonating, all of us, with that particular vibration asterisk. It represents, of course, what is called the French Revolution that gave birth to it. And it is a song asterisk of celebration of freedom, and it applies everywhere in the world, not just to France. But it is inspiring, uplifting, and it is a reminder of all these wars, that those fighting in the wars, and those who remained at home, thought they were fighting for freedom, of course. Whether the particular army was looked upon as the aggressor or the defender makes no difference. 11/11 is, of course, a very sacred date. And it is also a date when in the United States of America the soldiers who fought in the wars are honored by the title of Veterans Day. But the Lady Master had a higher name for it, which is Armistice Day, because it is to remember that wars, at least you have been taught that wars end in peace. Now there are some wars which are still going on. And, of course, there is the very human propensity for warring within one's own self. These wars are ending because you are taking in the energies and you are doing what you need to do on a personal level to clear out all of the old, shall we just say, third-dimensional energies and programs of every kind. And it is a very personal experience for each and every one of you. And yet there are some very, shall we say, common denominators. And so it is that you are accomplishing this as the collective, the human community, as well as on an individual basis, because whatever you do affects everyone else. And so this is a time, yes, to honor the soldiers. It is to forgive all who fought, and beyond that, all who initiated these wars. Most of it was done behind the scenes. Most of it was done by representatives of both of the opposing sides, and the purpose was not to gain freedom for anyone, but to bring the world more under their control. Nevertheless, it is to forgive. Be without judgment. Be in compassionate forgiveness, and be in a form of gratitude, not for the events that happened, but for the lessons. And what is the greatest lesson of all? No more war. We're moving into peace that passeth all understanding, if you will, that peace of the high dimensions, that peace which is a part of each and every one of you. Your higher dimensional selves know that peace. Join up with that whenever you can, which is all the time, if you wish to put your energies into that. Become peace. Become an expression of peace on earth. And thus you contribute to the upliftment of the entirety of humanity. Mother Gaia and her kingdoms have left 3D. Oh, they have a presence, but their consciousness is up higher. Your consciousness is up higher as well. When you feel that you're taking in some of those 3D vibes for any reason, give yourselves that same forgiveness, and raise yourselves up again. You will find that the more you practice this, the less you will have to do it, the more you will be, shall we say, on autopilot, soaring in the higher dimensional energies. Now, my beloved brother, Ashta, has brought up the topic of Nesra. I will enlarge upon it even more. There was no such thing, no such concept as Nesra. Even during your Second World War it had not come to enough of humanity that it could actually be initiated. But something happened. And that Nesra law is a result of a major raising of the consciousness which occurred in your 1980s, late 1980s. That Nesra law was written because nobody could figure out how to move into higher levels of lifestyle, and so it was finally mandated that this law should be written. And then it was passed. Now this law was written for the United States of America, written by members of the United States Congress. But it has worldwide, and beyond, application. Yours is not the only third-dimensional society wanting to move upward, you know, but your leaders, you are leading the way. And when Nesra is announced, it will be the grandest celebration the world has ever seen, a celebration of hearts and minds coming together, a celebration of opening up to the realization of the possibilities that it offers to everyone on planet Earth. It will be bigger than the biggest ticker tape parade or New Year's fireworks around the world, or whatever celebrations, because it is truly emancipation for the entire world. And upon the announcement of Nesra will come the abundance. I'm in charge of that, no one else, Make no mistake, I am in charge. And I have the plans all in place, and I am setting up the new financial systems. I've had many, what you might call heart-to-heart conversations with those who have been in charge of running the financial world, and, I will just say, that changes are well underway. And some of those who have been in charge have come over to the light, and many, not so much what you would call the top CEOs and their minions, but it is called middle management, many in the middle management, and many of the workers in the financial institutions. There are, how shall we say this? I don't want you to interpret this with any negativity, but let us just say that there are undercover light workers in the financial institutions. Some have been there for years. Some have recently joined. They know what's coming, and they are prepared to carry out the new programs. They have been trained, and there are more who will be receiving their training. But I will just say, that if I look over the world, I can tell you that things are beautifully organized for this transition. Remember those, most especially, who are leaving these institutions because they are not open-hearted enough to participate in the changes. Thank them. Without their efforts, you would not understand the necessity of making these changes. Look at it that way. They have been so blatant in their greed, their tricks, and so on, that they have shown you that, just like you're looking for peace on earth, you're also looking for financial abundance for all, so that no one is enslaved. You're looking for reformations, and Nesra provides that in so many ways. Just think about it. No more unfair taxes. Well, most taxes are unfair if you want to look at it, created by the few, to benefit the few, at the expense of the many. How about free education? Don't our students deserve the very best education? Don't our teachers deserve to be well compensated for their work? And why should a young student be having, years later, their social security checks garnished because they cannot pay off their student loans? Think about that. A student most often graduates from college at the age of 22 years, and so some 40 years, or maybe even later, he or she still have not paid off the loans. I give this as an example. There are many benefits to Nesra of a financial nature. Just relax. Be joyful. Celebrate, and know that everybody, every man, woman, child, and all of the kingdoms, no, we're not going to be giving any money to your pet kitty cats, but they will benefit from your receiving it, and so on. The joy factor will rise so much that the crystals are going to be reverberating with these high levels of joy. The plants will no longer be poisoned, because this is all about financial parity, financial abundance for all. No more greed, no more speculators raising the price of a needed drug. Well, before we get to no more drugs, there will be no more of the raising of prices to whatever it was, $7,000, or 7,000%, or whatever he did. You've all read about that. None of these kinds of things will be going on. And everyone will be treated fairly and respectfully. All of these programs the society has about, well, I'm better than you, because I have more money, and all of these kinds of things, gone. And in its place, peace on earth, high-dimensional love, joy, freedom, and, of course, other benefits such as health and rejuvenation. Perhaps some off-world travels are in your future. However you want to look at it, create your lifestyles, absolutely abundant, absolutely free. And, yes, do whatever you can to support Nesra, all that it includes, and most especially, its announcement. The more people do this, obviously, the more the energy is amplified to get it done. And so I, Saint Germain, stand before you. You have heard what I have said. Know it to be true. Open your hearts and see how it resonates, and join me in bringing Nesra and all of its benefits forth for all of planet Earth, because it is ordained and because this is a grand part of our mission together. Thank you, most honored ones, most beloved ones. Namaste.